Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building. I don't know how we keep doing this.
The best show for Chicago sports.
It's unprecedented. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's tiring. The Chicago Bears find a way to lose another gut-wrenching loss. We got to talk about what led to the loss. Also got to react to Caleb Williams versus Jaden Daniels. Part one, which, I mean, listen, was fairly lackluster until one big play. And then finally, a concerning stat that if you're a Bears fan, has you just losing your mind and your head spinning as yet again the Chicago Bears find a way to lose a game that seemed like there was no way they could lose. Ladies and gentlemen, the date is 10/28/2024. It's 6:35 in the morning, and time doesn't heal all wounds.
Nope.
Let's go. No victory glasses for Meaty, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, God. Please kill the music or the coach. One or the other. We'll figure it out when we get to the end of this episode.
Good Lord.
And nothing else, Bears fans. This is a place for you to vent. This is a place for you to lose your mind. This is a place for you to deal with the struggles, because that's what we're going to do this morning. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Need y'all go ahead and
Come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
You heard what she said.
You heard what Sue Young said. Push the button. Please put us out of our misery. JC, what's good, my guy? Look at JC. Little mic stand set up. Little mic set up right there.
I mean, it would have been a perfect week. I got all this new equipment. I sound crispy, and this is what it's used for on a really bad Monday, a non-victory Monday. No, I don't have my glasses on. It sucks.
Yeah. Shout out JC Franklin, said the Bears effed up my whole weekend. JC? They do that. And that is the theme of most Bears fans here. The gauntlet that we were created in, most people would have died by now. You know what I mean? Like it is unbelievable what Bears fans have had to go through under this Flus tenure. I don't know where to begin with how this game is lost. And I know everybody's looking at the Hail Mary as the starting point, but I just don't think that that's where you lose this game. Now, of course, officially that's where you lose this game, right? Bad play. Tariq Stevenson's taunting the fans. I don't know if that's Tariq Stevenson's man there. He's not supposed to be deeper than the deepest in that situation, but man, it looks bad when you're standing on the sideline taunting a win that you don't get while players are running down the field towards you. But outside of that, this game was terrible from the start, from the get-go. Your coaching staff offensively, let's be very specific here. Your coaching staff offensively was an absolute debacle. Caleb Williams was flat out bad. Caleb Williams was flat out bad at football on Sunday. Yes, he does lead the 2 drives. Not really. Caleb Williams leads 1 drive. He does lead you 2 drives to get down there, but he leads 1 drive that ends in points. another big run by DeAndre Swift to put you in the end zone. And I mean, outside of that, you looked bad at football offensively. By the way, JC, versus a defense that is an absolute joke. I've got
Complete
Commanders
joke.
fans beating their chest like they've got the defense of the year.
Oh my God.
And
this is
I'm
what happens.
sorry. Like this is a problem. It's not just Shane Waldren. There's plenty of blame to go around, and Caleb Williams deserves a piece of pie.
Yeah, everybody deserves a piece.
First quarter, 1 for 5 for 17 yards. Second quarter, 2 for 3 for 16 yards. Third quarter, 1 for 5 for 3 yards. It's not until the fourth quarter where you see him go 6 for 11 for 95 yards, and that's where the offense starts to move. And of course, you get a couple of touchdowns out of there with Roschon. Well, you get 1 touchdown with Roschon Johnson. You're in position for 2 touchdowns, but oh, Shane Waldron, you son of a. Oh, we're going to hand it off to the big guy.
Oh, man. Innovative.
Who doesn't do this?
They don't.
The guy that is a center.
Wait till they see what I got up my sleeve. A bunch of crap. You know what? First of all, oh, man, I swear to God. What a Monday. All I have to say is you came off of a bye week as if you were still on your bye week. Like my thing is you came out unprepared. You had a whole week and some change to understand your opponent. You came out flat. And of course, we've said it before. And, you know, the stat that blows my mind is somehow they just can't get right at the start of the game. 10 points still scored in the first quarter total for the entire season. After what now? 7 games. That is complete trash. You're averaging almost a point. Almost in the first quarter. I don't understand what like scripted plays Shane Waldron is coming up with. But as I said before in the Chicago Bears briefs, do the opposite of what you think you're doing on the scripted plays. Do the complete opposite, because those you need to throw in the trash. Whatever script you're writing, it's horrible. MGM won't pick up that script. Like your script is complete trash.
Let's refrain from things that open with lions roaring for the remainder of this podcast. What are you talking about MGM there?
Jesus. Oh yeah, right. Yeah,
here's what's tough about it, right? Is the Hail Mary hurts, but you left this game feeling like, and I said this on the radio yesterday. My notes didn't change. My notes yesterday from this game: bad quarterback play. Offensive line is exactly who I thought it was. Defense is amazing. Caleb Williams didn't do enough. Bears get ugly win. The only thing I had to do was backspace the last 4 words and go, Bears get ugly loss.
I would have loved an ugly win. We talked about that at the end of the game before the miracle happened. He said, hey, man, there's a lot that we're going to talk about in the morning. But, man, if we come away with the win, it's going to be better to discuss those issues because we're still 5-2. We found a way to get the job done. And you mentioned the stat. Like, the only positive I have for Caleb is the fact that in those last 2 drives alone, he was 6 for 8 for 95 yards. So he put us in a position to win. The team put you in a position to win. The defense put you in a position to win. But overall in the game, they were the only thing that was working. And they were completely gassed. Like, I don't blame the defense at all. You gave up 4 field goals to a team that is number 1 in red zone offense. Yep. They got down the field numerous times during the beginning of the game, and you only gave up 4 field goals. And I told you before during the game, I said, this gives me PTSD back to the Houston game. Like, we were in it every time, but Kai Fairbanks just kept kicking and kicking and kicking, and our offense just didn't have an answer. For whatever reason, Caleb Williams was off on his throws. It was very uncharacteristic. We talk about his deep ball not necessarily being accurate, but even the balls to the middle of the field throws behind DJ Moore, behind Roma Dunze, outside of the reach of Keenan Allen, in the end zone going for Keenan Allen. He throws it over him out of bounds. Like, the inaccuracy is nuts. It's like he's on and he's off. He's hot and he's cold. And this is not a knock on Caleb saying, oh, I don't believe in him all of a sudden. No, I still think he's our quarterback. I still think he is that guy. But when the lights were the brightest in this moment, you go back home, you're playing up against a guy. There's all these narratives. There's all these storylines. I just think that he didn't perform the way he wanted to, obviously, in the moment. He has to be better. And my God, Shane Waldren, I swear to God, if you don't keep it simple, here's the door. I'm getting tired of the simple to cute to simple to cute plays. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
And that last stupid is for you.
Yeah. It's tough because you watched them do it. You watched them get the formula. And then they completely went away from it. And listen, it makes it harder. I will say this, right? There's plenty of blame to go around. We want to blame somebody specific. I can't blame somebody specific. This is an offensive loss. Caleb Williams was about as inaccurate as any bad quarterback that's been a part of the Chicago Bears. That's how bad he played on Sunday. Caleb Williams was Mitch Trubisky on Sunday.
Oh, my God, don't do that.
Caleb Williams was Mitch Trubisky on Sunday.
Jesus.
Football overthrown completely, taking bad reads, making bad throws, making bad decisions with the football. Now, not turnover-worthy decisions, right? But you have opportunities in the first half for drives to keep going, and Caleb Williams is a major part of why drives stop going. Now, you also compound that with the fact, and I say this, right? This is what stands out to me most. I think this was going towards the end of the second half. Maybe this was early in the third quarter. But there's a drive where you're moving down the field pretty well, running the football solid. Seems like you're figuring out some rhythm here. And you're in a 2nd and 2 situation. And DJ Moore wide open. You throw the easy ball to him like you've been doing the last 3 weeks. You throw the easy ball to him, make a play, move down the field. There you go. Boom. Make a play, move down the field. There you go. You get a first down. Everything's reset. You're probably running the football on first down again because you haven't been passing the football very well. So it makes more sense to run the football. By the way, DeAndre Swift was killing them. So it was actually working in your favor to run the football. No, we don't do that. We're going to take the deep shot to a double-covered Rome Odunze. And not only are we going to take the deep shot to a double-covered Rome Odunze, we're not even going to give him a chance to go get the football.
Yeah, you overthrew that.
You overthrew the football by about 5 yards. You overthrew the safety, who I don't even know how you overthrew the safety. Like, basically, you never had a chance on this pass. And I understand trying to make a play, but what does that play lead to? On the next play, now we get to blame everybody else, which is why you have to take what is given to you in the moment. A false start and an illegal formation.
Yeah.
A false start and an illegal formation. Now, all of a sudden, you're in 3rd and 15 instead of 3rd and 2. I'm looking at the quarterback. I'm looking at an offensive line that I've been telling y'all was inept. I kept saying, don't get lulled to sleep by these Panthers games. I'm sorry. This isn't an anime where you can win off of the power of friendship and just the fact that we're all out there and we're all holding hands and kumbaya-ing right now. Doesn't mean that all of a sudden I'm going to be able to block NFL defensive linemen. Guess where Coleman Shelton was?
On his backside again.
As always. Tevin Jenkins hurt yet again.
Oh, yeah. He got
Braxton Jones. Yeah. Before he got hurt, he absolutely was moving the wrong way.
Yeah. Let's not talk about 72 as well. His replacement.
I mean, like, listen, Karan Amagaji doing his best Braxton Jones impersonation out there.
My God. Letting people just go past Olay.
And so, listen, like, I get we want to point fingers at one specific thing. The whole team, offensively, deserves fingers. And I got one in mind for him. Hey, by the way, we do got over 100 in the chat. Over 200 in the chat. 200. You gotta get more enthusiastic pumps here, meeting.
You know what? I got to work on that. I'm sorry. It's really not you all's fault. I know I keep doing that. My enthusiasm.
You're screwing over the people.
I'm sorry. Chad. Sorry, Chad. I need a little juice this morning.
Hey, you. Whatever gets you there, dog.
It's God.
But no, it's sad that you have to again look at it off, and this is where Bears fans are hurt, right?
Yeah.
You finally start to believe. This is how we are. You finally start to believe. You finally start to, okay, I think we got him. I think we got the quarterback. dare I say, this kid seems like he understands what he's looking at.
Yeah.
I think we've got the offensive coordinator figured out, and he's not doing stupid stuff anymore. I think we have all of the answers finally in place to go out here and once again dominate a bad defense. They're not good. The Commanders are not good. And then on top of that, your defense made Jaden look pedestrian all day. I'm not worried about big yards over the middle and all of that when you get into the red zone and you can't score touchdowns. He literally didn't have one red zone touchdown all day. You made him look, you made the best red zone offense in the NFL look pedestrian. That's how good your defense is. By the way, while missing two pieces that are major pieces.
Mm-hmm.
You did everything you needed to do. And offensively, you couldn't muster 21 points. By the way, the record's still alive.
That's still crazy.
The record is still alive. That's how good they are.
It was 12. What 12 points to the last second. Yeah. That's my problem is I've said this before. I don't think Shane Waldren likes the fact that simple plays work apparently. Like there's got to be something going off in his head where he's saying, man, if I could just throw this little like chink in here, if I could just throw them off with something like this during the game, this is going to make my name. Oh boy, wait till, what do we do before? Wait, I'm gonna make my name for myself. Like
I'm gonna make a name for myself. Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah.
You know how long I've been waiting for this?
Yeah. Well, wait longer because it seems
wait
like
longer.
You just cannot get it right. Like there's so many little details, and that's the thing with the Bears is that they lose with the little things. It's the little small things that killed them throughout the game. You know, Caleb Williams running himself out of field goal range. Yep. He clearly put himself, obviously he held himself accountable for that. You know, the coach, which I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm looking at Matt Eberflus a little bit more harder to today because, you know, the fact that I heard him say that he backed up the game plan that Shane Waldren wanted to have Doug Kramer on that 1 yard play and said, yeah, that's in our game plan. How is that in your game plan when you're behind? Yeah, that's one of your 1 yard plays, but that's like a victory play. That's a play you run when you're up by 40 points, 30 points.
I'm so sick of Bears coaches doing this play because legitimately it's what you said. When the Bears ran this play the first time with the fridge, it was in retaliation to the San Francisco 49ers running it on them in the playoffs the year before. It was week 6 of the season, and the Bears were up 20-10. They were dominating. Oh, by the way, it was such a dominating fashion defensively. It didn't matter what they did on the offensive end, so they were just throwing stuff out there. When they did it in the Super Bowl, they were up 1,000,000-0. The Patriots didn't have a team by the time they were running this play. This is a victory cigar play, not a, my God, we got to get in the end zone and try and take a lead here play.
Hey, let's give it to the guy that doesn't play on offense. Let's give it to the guy that blocks but doesn't run the ball normally. That's what we should come up with. How dumb can you be? And I love the media. I love the reporters asking questions. Like I forgot who it was, but he outright said, "What was the logic behind that play?" You know, that was the safe way. That was the safe way of saying, "How stupid can you be?"
Probably heard.
What was the logic behind you and Shane? You're the one that's supposed to stop Shane from running those kinds of plays. Hey, whoa, Shane. We're at the 1 yard line. Keep it simple. Let's use Roschon. Haven't really used Roschon a lot today. Let's just run it in with Roschon. No. I got something that I think that because they're going to think that we set up with Roschon because Kramer's always blocking them. Let's give it to Kramer. No. Let's give it to Roschon.
We were so excited because You gotta post the play. We gotta clip it up. We were so excited because we thought that they were going to do the smart thing. We were so incredibly excited because we thought that they were going to do the right thing. We literally went, I'm sitting there and I'm going, put Doug Kramer in the backfield, Roschon Johnson, you're on the one. Don't F it up. I see Doug Kramer. I see Roschon. Oh my God, this is it. They're being smart.
Yep.
Oh, what?
Does he even have the ball?
And here's my problem with it is on a day where Caleb Williams was incredibly inaccurate, on a day where the offense was incredibly pedestrian, on a day where you had nothing going, you finally get something going in the right direction and you go with incompetence.
I love Steve-O's comment. Shout out to Steve-O. You waived Kari Blossingame along with Velus Jones. You had a fullback that actually is used to getting the ball handed to him in those instances. He's been in those instances, and you waived him because you said, no, we have Doug Kramer that's blocking. You could have used Kari Blossingame if that's the case. That's where you use Kari Blossingame. But no, we don't have him anymore on the team because we thought that it would be better to give it to Doug Kramer, the Juggernaut. He's called the Juggernaut because he blocks. You ever seen the Juggernaut? He runs in front of people and he creates space. He knocks people out the way. He doesn't carry the ball.
That was bad. That's an all-time bad one. And it keeps getting worse. We're going to break down the Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels matchup a little bit further. Two quarterbacks that were incredibly mediocre throughout most of the day. And that by the end of the day, one looks like a god because the numbers look phenomenal for him, and the other one looks incredibly mediocre. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to Show and Love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors at Aura. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. Oh, wrong one. Dang it.
Oh, yeah.
Yep,
It's that kind of celebration today.
Welcome back in. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Reacting here to the Chicago Bears just looking incompetent offensively. And now we got to look at the quarterback battle. The quarterback battle is the one that most of the focus was on.
Yep.
And Jaden versus Caleb, one goes to Jaden.
Yes, it
And
does.
this was a day where you were so incredibly prepared to be like, it looked like 2-0 burgers on the field. It's tough. It sucks. But let's break it down. Caleb Williams versus Jaden Daniels, part 1. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Overall numbers here. Jaden Daniels, 21 for 38, 326 yards, 1 touchdown. He had 8 carries for 52 yards at 6.5 yards per carry average. Caleb Williams was 10 for 24 for 131 yards, a quarterback rating of 59.5, did not score a touchdown, did not throw a pick, had 10 carries for 41 yards for a yards per carry of 4.1. In every single quarterback stat, Caleb Williams looked worse. But when you break down the game, Jaden kind of didn't impact anything but field goals.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I love the Terry McLaurin numbers and all of that, but if the Bears find a way to not just screw this game up woefully, he had 125 yards and nothing came of it. It's like scoring 50 and losing.
Yeah, a lot of people are beating their chest because of the way the stats look at the very end. We know where a lot of those
I would be too.
Yeah,
I'm not even mad at him. Listen, if you're a Washington fan
I'm just
today,
saying they're beating their chest. Like,
if you're a Washington fan today, beat your chest.
Beat your chest.
Because you know what? If we had won that game, I'd be laughing at y'all woefully.
Yeah,
because I left this game going, I don't know how the heck you found a way to lose this, but we didn't. So I'm not sitting here saying don't beat your chest. I'm sitting here saying, listen, go after it. But I'll tell you this, takes a real man to talk when he's down. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, with the defenses they still got on this schedule, you better hope Jaden play a whole lot better than that.
Yeah.
You still got Philly twice. You still got Atlanta defense out there. You still got the Steelers defense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Continue to prove it.
Have fun. Enjoy the rest of the season.
And it's not to say that Jaden didn't do a bad job. I mean, at the end of the day, Jaden gave you. I'll say this. I'll extend an olive branch because I don't want you all to think that I'm trashing Jaden and saying neither quarterbacks threw a touchdown until obviously the last second miracle throw. But one thing that I was impressed by, Jaden did showcase his mobility. When it was time for him to pick up a first down, he got the first down. Like for whatever reason, he got out of contain a few times, juked Edwards. I mean, there were many times where we thought we had him dead to rights on third downs, which were pivotal, and he got the first down with his feet. So I will say Jaden definitely impacted the game with that. He definitely, took what was there as far as getting down the field. Him and Zach Ertz had some good connections during the game. Obviously, him and Terry McLaurin linked up a few times, especially on that Hail Mary against Tariq Stevenson, who I'm going to trash here in a minute. But overall, obviously, we could say Jaden had a better game. You mentioned the stats by quarter for Caleb. It was atrocious until those last 2 drives. But all in all, impressive. I won't say impressive. The stats clearly show that, he had a better game than I would say he actually did because the defense still did their job. I'm sorry, when you give up only 4 field goals for the entire game, we can't sit here and say the defense didn't do their job or question whether or not they're a top defense. They clearly are a top defense. You stopped the best team from scoring when they get down the field. When the field becomes shorter, that is the best team in the league in scoring the ball. Whether it be running with Brian Robinson, whether it be getting it in there with Diami Brown or Terry McLaurin or Noah Brown, they didn't score. And so that's where you can put your hat off to is the defense. But overall, quarterback to quarterback, yes, Jaden had the better game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's no question about it. And I think what the part that sucks for Bears fans most is the takeaway from this game is that throughout the game, Jaden looked competent. And Caleb didn't. And I'm sorry. Once again, looking at Caleb Williams, unprepared for the moment. I'm willing to back you and be your best friend when you're balling out, and I'll even pick you up when you're down. But let's not pretend like the moment didn't get to you. Let's not the whole I don't get nervous. Oh, that sounds cool. You were playing in front of your home crowd. You were playing in front of for the first time in Washington ever. You were back in the city that raised you, and you were ready to go in there and tear it up, and you looked horrible the entire day. Now, on top of that, I do think, it helps that Jaden was much better protected than Caleb was. But that's been the theme all season. And everybody was sitting there lulled to sleep by the fact that you played 3 pass rushes that were dead and you couldn't find a way to move the football. Offensively, you were throwing the football behind people. You were overthrowing people left and right. Just poor decision making. I mean, it was bad. You looked like Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah. Yeah, you look bad.
That's when it comes down to it. Here's the thing. Neither of these games are indicative of who the quarterback is for the rest of their career. But it is very Bears-like to have the biggest moment and like this. And not only that, we still would have been here today talking about how bad Caleb played.
Absolutely.
My whole game plan for breaking this game down in my notes was offensive line horrible, Caleb Williams bad. It just changed win or loss. And it's a lot easier to stomach with a win.
Yeah.
With a loss, now you're in a position where, I mean, listen, Caleb Williams, shout out to him, going back home, big moment. You didn't live up to it. I talked about Caleb knowing the moment. And dare I say, it felt like the Bears were trying to force the moment. I don't know if people noticed, but like the moment just happens. It felt like the Bears were like, we're going to win this game throwing the football, when that was not the recipe to win this game.
Yep.
And you wanted to do the one-on-one. You wanted to do the back and forth, be competitive. It's what lost you this game.
Yeah, the Bears were very one-dimensional throughout most of the game until the fourth quarter when the passing finally got going and he clutched up, which you do like to see because most times Bears quarterbacks that you get them in the fourth quarter when they have to get the ball down the field and they're inept. And so that was good to see. But, I mean, you went away from what was working the entire game. I mean, DeAndre Swift did have 18 carries, but it would have been nice to get him at least, a couple more, 7 more. That's how good he was.
Yep.
I mean, Pat's not giving him any money, but that's how good he was.
I wouldn't pay
honestly. 25 carries, I would have liked to seen it because on a day where Caleb didn't, first of all, attempt that many throws, only completed 10, it would have been nice to just go with what was working, which is, again, going back to the whole using Roshan in the right position, using the right personnel, using DeAndre Swift more. That's what was working. Because you clearly didn't care about your other players. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, well, maybe Cole Kmet was being used as a blocker because he needed to, because the protection was just horrible. But I still feel like there were moments where you could have used him a little bit more until the fourth quarter where you threw it to him a few times. Like you didn't use DJ Moore. You didn't use Cole Kmet. Keenan Allen was overthrown. Like the only hookup that I saw that was working a few times was Roma Dunze. Roma Dunze had a connection with Caleb a few times, and that was it. We were completely one-dimensional for 75% of the game. 75. And so that's why you have to go with what works.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you were 4 for 13 by the time the fourth quarter started. You had 4 total completions by the time the fourth quarter started, and you're behind. You're well behind. It looks like you're not. This game is so bad in the Caleb Williams, because I said this would be very impactful for the offensive rookie of the year race. You're behind Marvin Harrison Jr. now. Like, you are out of the race.
You might be behind Brian Thomas.
Caleb Williams is out of the race.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not number 1 overall pick. All that Al Kumbaya. He's out of the race.
Let me make this clear, though. I'm not that type of fan that just continues to evaluate a quarterback, or I'll just say this quarterback and say I'm out on him. I am nowhere near out on Caleb Williams.
Nobody. If you're out on Caleb Williams,
you got people that you know how the fan base can get. You got people that feel like, oh my God, we didn't get the right quarterback, we didn't pick the right guy.
But you know what?
Because of this one game.
If you're out on Caleb Williams, you were out on Caleb Williams before the season started.
You were looking for a reason, and that's where the PTSD comes from.
That's my thing, right? There are some there's three groups of Bears fans right now. There are Bears fans that are looking for the good and trying to support, even though we can all see how bad this game is. There are Bears fans who are still upset that Justin Fields got traded away and for some reason just want to hate anything that Caleb Williams has done. And even when he's been good, they don't want to acknowledge it, even when he's bad. And then when he's bad, now all of a sudden, everything that he does, you have to acknowledge, right? And then there's Bears fans that just like to be miserable. Yeah. The miserable fans are the ones that irritate me the most. No matter who's back there, no matter who the quarterback is, no matter what happens on the field, the Bears are who we thought they were.
Yeah. No hope. No nothing.
You're still in a 4-3 situation. You're still in a better situation. You're still in a favorable situation. You would hope going into an Arizona game. Although with how the Bears played this defense, I would think that you have some concerns heading into Arizona, even though they're not good defensively. I don't expect them to kill you offensively, just like the Commanders didn't, right? I think it'll be a very similar game, but the hope was that you'd be able to put up points. Doesn't look like that's happening. And so for me, like here's my thing when it comes down to it. And I said this coming into the game. If you were saying that Jaden Daniels was a bad quarterback, you weren't paying attention.
No, you weren't. And
I think the same thing of Caleb Williams. Is this a bad game? Horrible. Doesn't change what I've seen. It doesn't make what we've seen unfactual. We've seen him read defenses. We've seen him, go through his progression. We've seen it. He was still doing it in this game. He was just incredibly inaccurate. Incredibly inaccurate.
Yeah.
And there were so many things that were killing drives. So many things that the things that he was doing and missing look even worse. Because there were easy layups that you got to take, and he was trying to shoot it from the logo.
He went back to what didn't work. He didn't keep it simple either. My thing is, I say to all Bears fans, relax a little bit. And I've mentioned this comparison before. And no, I'm not saying that Jaden will turn into this person eventually. But I mean, I go back to the RG3 Andrew Luck rookie year. And again, both by the way, both quarterbacks can be very good for their respective teams, by the way. One quarterback doesn't have to be good and the other has to be bad for their careers just because Jaden won the game. It's one game. But RG3 became rookie of the year. Everybody thought, oh man, okay, he's the guy that's going to be the game changer. To this day, who would you pick out of those two people? You would clearly go with Andrew Luck. And so the
other one died, so yeah.
What I encourage still is that you need to give this time. There are going to be games where Caleb looks really good, and we rode a high because usually, realistically, every week, Caleb got better and better and better and better. And yes, we played horrible defensive teams. You can use that as an excuse if you're not a Bears fan. My point is, you've seen some of the greatest to ever do it have horrible seasons. The quarterback that has the most interceptions as a rookie, his name is Peyton Manning. Drew Brees didn't have a good rookie season. These are some of the greatest names in the game. What I am saying by that is that we don't just need to go out, like you mentioned, some Bears fans and saying, oh, they expected this. Oh, we don't have our quarterback. Let's relax. Our expectations are heightened mainly because we're in a division where there's really no margin for error. If you're talking about us being 4-3 in another division and we win the next 2 games against Arizona and New England, and we go 6-3. 6-3 isn't a bad record. It isn't a good record, rather.
Yeah.
That's a very good record. That would be at the top of most divisions. But specifically in this division, we have to dang near be perfect. And that's why we're kind of upset with the fact that, hey, we lost a game that we really could have won.
Yeah.
We had these next 3 games on the docket as games that we needed to win. Now we really need to win in order to keep up in the playoff race. But our time is still coming.
You're fully behind the 8 ball. I mean, listen, you still got a .571 win percentage. You're 3-1 in your last 4. You're still in a good position. The problem is the Lions are 6-1. And here's the biggest part of this, right? This is where seeing this game hurts the most. Again, versus a Commanders defense that passing wise, I mean, they've been letting teams pass the football over their heads all season. Seeing a Commanders defense shut you down completely after they lost Jonathan Allen.
Yeah.
And then I'm supposed to believe that you're going to find wins versus the Lions, who just eviscerated a team 52-14.
Killed the Titans, yeah.
Versus the Packers, who are 6-2, second in the division, and figuring it out with their kicker. I think that Jordan Love is still putting you in some bad situations, but some great coaching. Jordan Love gets hurt again. Malik Willis comes in and absolutely just flinging the ball downfield, making it happen. You got the Vikings who, yeah, maybe they're coming back to earth a little bit, but they're still 5-2. They're so set up that the 5-2 doesn't mean as much. Like, where are you finding, or I'm sorry, the 2 losses don't hurt you as much. Where are you finding 2 wins in your division or 4 wins in your division? You have to believe that you're going to beat a Lions team and a Packers team that the Lions at outside are bad. So I think that you can beat Jared Goff outside. But here's the problem, JC. Jared Goff had 3 touchdowns yesterday and 85 yards. He passed for 85 yards.
You know why? Because the run game was killing.
Run game was killing. Return game was killing. Defense was killing. Like, if you go into a game and everything else is hitting, Jared Goff being mediocre won't matter. So I'm supposed to believe that after a game where there was a clear defense, you should be able to go out there and dominate.
Yeah.
And you couldn't, that we're going to get 4 wins in this division. That's a long stretch. It's a Miobi stretch.
I know we talked about it, and I said this. This is one of the debates we had after the live went off. Is where are we going to look for this Bears team to kind of keep in the race? I mean, honestly, and you know, this could be a long stretch. This could be me just pie in the sky. But Minnesota, like I said, I feel like their team and the quarterback, Sam Darnold, is kind of regressing to the mean. Not saying that they're a bad team all of a sudden, but I feel like they're coming back down to earth in a sense. Those are 2 games that I feel you have the possibility of winning. Of course, we can still lean on our defense in all of these games, which is why I have confidence. So you're talking about 2 right there. Obviously, Green Bay and Detroit are the 2 teams that you're worried about. Detroit is they're on a Super Bowl run right now. They're on a Super Bowl pace. The way they're playing, they have their eyes on the trophy. That's how good this team is playing right now. So, of course, that's where I see the problem is playing against Detroit. That's just pretty much hitting on all cylinders. Jared Goff is playing at an MVP level, efficient, doesn't even need to throw that much. I mean, the team is working its butt off every game. And so I don't see them splitting with them. I do kind of think we have Detroit's number, but this year we probably don't. Green Bay, obviously, we've mentioned before, you've said it before, that's a mental hurdle along with just trying to win against them. Mentally, we just have to get over the struggle of, hey, they dominate us, they own us, as Aaron Rodgers said. And so those are the 2 teams where I feel like if we're going to win, we have to somehow, some way beat them split or find a way to beat them both times. That's the only way I see us staying in this division race.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's the only way you can. And that's the problem. That's the problem. The only way that you can is to go out there and dominate your division. And that feels very unbelievable after this game. You couldn't put up 21 points. We got Commanders fans beating their chest over 18 points. 6 of which came on a last-second Hail Mary. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't get 21. It's not to say you're not going to be able to get 21 ever again, but it's very difficult to believe that versus defenses that are way better than this, that you're going to find 4 wins. Oh, by the way, you also got San Francisco in there. Oh, by the way, you've also got Seattle in there. 2 teams that can get after you. But hey, you gotta figure it out. All you can do is start with Arizona, get a win there, and at least you're starting to move in the right direction. Yeah. At least it feels like you're moving in the right direction. And you never know where this division is going to go. I mean, Jordan Love with a groin injury. Does that bring them back a little bit more? It doesn't feel like it with how Malik Willis was able to go out there and just lead a game-winning drive that ends in a field goal.
He played well last time.
After Trevor Lawrence scores a big touchdown to put him up. It was a great football day yesterday. That's the one thing I will say. I was losing my mind at how good the football was yesterday.
A lot of close games. Yeah, very, very good football on display.
Let's finish it out here because me and you have talked about Matt Eberflus as far as him being a head coach. And you listen, off of 3 wins, we felt good about Flus as a coach. Off of some losses, off a loss in Indy, where you really felt like you need to make some changes. It felt like Flus made a change, but this is a stat to me that is probably the most concerning of all. If you are going to be a head coach that is going to win in this league and win games big. And it's not the fact that he's 3-17 on the road, because while the 3-17 on the road is abysmal, I also am a fan that understands context. And remember, we were rebuilding.
Mm-hmm.
So the win-loss record, while it sucks, I do have to take a portion of that and go, okay, but you are also trying to lose and trying to build this team to where it's at right now. Here's the stat to me, though, that I think is the most concerning stat of all about the Matt Eberflus era. And Bears fans having to endure this is why we're not built the same. Why as fans, the fact that we're still here is impressive. It probably is sickening. It's probably a disease that we all have.
Oh boy, I gotta hear this.
2 seasons, the Chicago Bears have lost 4 games with a win probability of above 90%. In 2023, we lost to Denver with a 98.1% win probability. In 2023, we lost to Detroit with a 98.2% win probability. In 2023, we lost to Cleveland with a 91% win probability. And yesterday, we lost to the Washington Commanders with a 96.4 win percent probability. These are 4 historic losses on Matt Eberflus's resume through 2 seasons. And at the end of the day, it comes down to wins and losses. I think that Flus is a phenomenal DC. I think that it's you can deal with a lot of the struggles because of how good he is as a DC. Good defenses mask a lot of stuff. I am not opposed to having Flus as the head coach of this team right now, because I think if this listen, this sucks right now, but if this season ends and you find a way to do the formula we said where you beat the division 4-2, you feel a lot better about Flus heading into the following season, all until he loses a game like this again. But that's
alarming.
3 of those losses being on the road is very alarming. That is a stat to me that does have you questioning how far a good defensive-minded coach can take you when those are the losses you have. By the way, all of those losses come with I shouldn't say that. 3 of those losses come with your defense struggling to close out the game. Right? Cleveland game, Justin Jones. Why is he dropping back in coverage? Gets the ball thrown over his head, touchdown.
Yeah.
The Denver game, you were up 28-7. And you just gave up points after points after points, and then all of a sudden they're back. The Detroit game, epic collapse at the end of the game. Epic collapse at the end of the game, and then this game yesterday where, I mean, listen, to me, realistically, the defense did everything right until they didn't.
That's an alarming stat. I think situationally, when the game matters the most, when the play calling and the decision making matters the most, I think that's where Matt Eberflus is very inept. And again, just getting a window into the fact that he admitted that he was on the same page with Shane Waldren when it comes to certain play calls, instead of standing in the way. You're side by side with this guy calling bad calls. That's where I start to put the spotlight on you as an overall head coach. Defensively, we've said that he's one of the better minds in the game. I totally agree with that. If we could give him demotion to DC right now, I would love that and try to get somebody else in here. But that's not how the game goes. You have the responsibility of having your hand in all the different areas of this team, and you're not managing it correctly. The fact that you still had 3 timeouts at the end of the game. I understand that maybe there weren't certain instances where you used them or you felt you needed to use them, but I know I would have taken a timeout to at least make sure that everybody is on the same page on that last play. Hey, get some people in the end zone. Why is everybody trying to go for the interception? Allow some of these guys to get in the end zone so that we can make sure that we're just swatting the ball down.
Yeah.
You know, those situations, I look at the head coach and see whether or not he is inept or not. That stat is insane. You have pretty much no reason to lose those 4 games, and you found a way to lose. You found a way to lose 3 in 1 year. And yes, we can use the excuse that, yes, this team was still rebuilding. This team might have not had Montez Sweat. We understand that, yes, the team sometimes matters when it comes to your record. But overall, when you see a person continuously make bad decisions or stand in the way of not making good decisions, I should say, then the spotlight starts to look at you. We're starting to put a spotlight on you.
Yeah.
And so as much as I talk about Shane Waldren, you're paired up right in there with him. There has to be accountability.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it was it's a stat that is unbelievable. Like how do you fail with 90s on your report card? You know what I mean? That's
an A to an F.
I mean, it's quick. It's quick. It's like you get caught cheating every time you take the test.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Getting a 98. Did you have Chat GPT open on this test? Like
Matt LaFleur is next to him, the desk over. He's peeking on Matt LaFleur's test.
Bro, it's so. I think here's the tough part about all of this, right? At the end of the day, it's a results-based business. I can feel as good as I want to about Matt Eberflus as a DC. I can feel as good as I want about Matt Eberflus as a leader. I think that he's doing a good job as leader. It comes down to wins and losses. Right now, you have more wins than losses, but you have so many historic losses.
Yeah.
So many historic losses on your resume. All games you should have been able to close out. And listen, for me, this is a Flus thing. This is a focus on Flus. But to me, y'all know how I felt about it. I said this earlier. I'm looking up. Yo, polls. Why is my quarterback still running for his life? Hey, Ryan Poles, why are we putting our offensive coordinators in this position where in the first half things were working? Shane Waldren had people open all over the place. There's no time to throw it. Caleb's composure is thrown off because he's getting pressured the whole time. So while I'm looking at these percentages and these losses, and I'm losing it. While I'm looking at these percentage and these losses, and I'm going, this is a Flus problem.
Yeah.
I'm also looking up. at the guy who loves Matt Eberflus, who thinks that he's the catch me out, who thinks you can't do any better than Flus, even though there's better names everywhere on the doggone team or everywhere available.
Yeah, that
You're
worked.
going to have coaching candidate names out the wazoo this offseason. Ben Johnson's going to be available.
You better throw the bag at him.
Bill Belichick is still out there.
I'll throw the bag at him too.
Mike Vrabel is still out there.
I give him a bag. Bag.
All paying them all more than running backs. And yet, you're wanting to stick with this guy. Will give him the tools to do his job well. Give him the tools to protect his quarterback. Because that's what you don't have.
Yeah.
And then we expect a different result. You gave him the wide receivers and the running back, and you gave him all these pieces. How's he not doing it? The defense held for 18 points. You couldn't score 21.
Well, I think you said it best.
Down.
I think you said it best when we're talking about, the GM as far as his evaluation. I think a lot of people thought that the way it looked in college is probably the way it was going to look here, and that's why he probably was a little too overconfident in not addressing the offensive line protection as much as he should have when it came to talent, not depth. We had the depth, but when it came to the actual talent level, you saw Caleb running for his life in college, but it just looked spectacular because he was still providing awesome plays. He was still getting the ball down the field. He was still doing what he had to do to mostly win the game.
Yeah.
And within himself. And so that's why Ryan Post probably was like, hey, we can get this guy in here. And, he's performing at an elite level, at a Heisman level without protection. So maybe I can get away with it this year. Well, you're not getting away with it. And it's showing. Again, even though we're over 500 record-wise, you're going to get your quarterback killed if you don't address this. That's part of why Jaden looks also good too. You got people like Tyler Byans. You got a good line over there in Washington that's competent enough that gave their quarterback enough time to do what he had to do. Even though we stopped them technically throughout the game, he still had enough time to pass the ball. We don't have that on our side.
Yeah.
We have to address that.
No, it's bad. It's 100% bad. I don't know how it gets better. That's a stat that's alarming.
I don't either.
Like I said, with Flus, it comes down to wins and losses. And you get back on the carousel. That's what it feels like right now. The carousel of suck. This ride that Bears fans will not get off of. That is when you win the game. Or I'm sorry, you bring in the quarterback. Quarterback shows you something. We're all on the quarterback side. Now it's the coach's fault. You get rid of the coach. New coach can't figure out the old quarterback. Doesn't want the old quarterback. Now you move on from the quarterback. Now you bring in new quarterback. New quarterback's there. Figure something out. But we're on his side. But we don't like how the coach is dealing with him. We get rid of the coach. Like, that's the cycle we're in. That's the cycle we're in.
Yeah.
And I'm so ready to get off of this ride.
No, it's never ending. It's never ending, Pat.
I'm so ready to get off this ride. Get me off of this thing.
You're getting a headache. You're going in circles so much.
And the problem is that on top of everything else, you're also wasting a really talented defense. You're also wasting a really, really talented defense that is doing every single thing that you're asking it to do. And more so. Except maybe Tariq Stevenson taunting fans before the play's over.
Hey, man. Hey, man. What are you doing? I'm sorry. Let's break that down real quick. I know we're going to get out of here real quick. You're an idiot. I understand you're not going to bench him. You're not going to cut him. You're not going to waive him. You're not going to do anything like that. Tariq Stevenson is still your second best cornerback on this team. Like, he's talented enough. But please, going forward, Tariq Stevenson, I pray. And I know you came out with an apology and saying all the right things. I'm sorry. To me, that's not good enough. Back that apology up with keeping your mouth closed going forward. You got torched by Terry McLaurin. Just because he didn't score a touchdown doesn't mean you can strap on your seatbelt and say you locked them down. You didn't lock anything down. You didn't lock anything down. And you're worried about talking to fans. And yeah, you can say, okay, was this assignment Noah Brown? From what I heard, it was. But even if it wasn't, you're still not in the position that you're supposed to be. Lock in on the game. If the game is not down to 0 seconds, stay focused on the game. Stop worrying about the fans. Who does that?
I think my biggest problem with the Tariq Stevenson situation isn't even him taunting. It's the fact that you ran into the play and you batted the ball backwards.
You the one. Hey, boop. He gave him a volleyball pick.
You literally, the ball falls probably 3 yards short of the goal line. It doesn't get there. There's nothing but bears around where the ball was going to end up. You didn't have to tip it. You could have let the ball fall into his arms and he would have been short by quite a bit.
Man.
Like, the one outcome that you could have made to compound and make that play worse, you made. The one thing that you could have done to make that play end up in a touchdown, you did.
Yeah.
And first off,
right.
Blue paused for that interview yesterday. He said we got a rim guy and a back tip guy. And the back tip guy came in early. I was like, hey, calm down now. Whoa, Flus, whoa, flag on the play, dog. But that's like it's a lack of focus. It is a lack of awareness. It is, I mean, I don't understand. I get Montez is hurt, but is he not your best player to have on the field in that moment? He's been chasing Jaden all day successfully. I've seen people who are upset about the fact that he got that you gave him the pass that puts him at the 48. I'm not as upset about that because if Tariq Stevenson doesn't make the one play that gives you a win in that situation, you're not there. That's not how it happens. That play means nothing. And so I don't know, man. Like this is the worst Monday of the year.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
This is the worst Monday of the year.
That's a heartbreaker. Absolutely. You lose on a Hail Mary that gets tipped into the guy's hand. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the worst Monday of the year.
Absolutely.
That's a tough one. We'll be back breaking it down more. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. There's still plenty more to break down on this game. Plenty more to talk about, especially with Caleb Williams and this offense and how pedestrian it is. We'll have all that coming to you from the Daily Show today live at 6 p.m. So tune in with us on that. Of course, Chicago Bears podcast coming out today as well. I don't even know what to do. I don't know what to say about this team. It's just when you think they're not ready to kick us in the nuts, JC. Here they go.
Oh, right in the middle.
Hey, y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bed down. One love. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. For Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, it's your boy Pat the Designer. Back at it again. Peace.
We got to talk about this later too.
I love Joel waking up and just jumping into the chat like, wow, we focused on the Hail Mary. You missed an entire show, Joe. Go back to bed.
Go back to bed, man. We'll see you later. I blame you, Joe. You weren't at the studio. I blame you.
Yep. Your fault.